Fed raising rates, what does it actually mean?
Okay.
The fact that I can decipher what you write.
Okay.
So I have a joke.
Okay.
Why can't a T-Rex clap his hands?
I don't know the right answer to it, I'm sure.
Because all of the dinosaurs are dead.
Oh, that is a good one. Nice.
I love that joke. It works better if you can actually see the picture of the T-Rex like this.
Oh, yeah.
It works better when you do it.
Maybe it works. Oh yeah, let's do it over again. All right. Let's get started.
Yeah, welcome to the Myriad show. This is our third show. We're filming actually on St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
But also happy Myriad Monday, because that's when
Yep.
this is going up.
That's right.
So it's a twofer.
So the point of this show is we cover a myriad of topics. See what I did there? And ask us any questions that you want. Send them to us. We'll feature you.
Jokes are strong in this episode.
Yeah, if we don't have her here, this is, you keep the sanity. This is so important.
That's great.
So let's kick it off. What questions are we fielding today?
All right, well, what is going on with the real estate market right now?
Well, the real estate market in Phoenix is really busy during the spring, which really covers in Phoenix February through about June. There's a ton of real estate activity. Right now, we are seeing that there are 13% less homes for sale currently than this same exact time last year. So inventory is really low. Things are really tight. That's causing, multiple offers in some situations. It's causing pricing to increase, and buyers just don't have the choices that they did this time last year. Conversely, there's actually 18% more homes under contract now than there were last month. Again, due to that spring season, we're seeing an increase in activity, but people are fighting over less property.
I'm not following real estate like I used to be by any means on a day-to-day basis. The macro levels that I see, personally, just as someone who drives down the road, a lot of construction, a lot of multifamily. I think it's great. We're at record high rental prices. That's something that's been kind of year over year. We keep breaking the same record. Personally, I don't think that those things happen forever. So what's the alternative? Well, when prices go up, inventory slowly rises to catch up. The problem is we never do it perfectly. The pendulum swings a little bit too far. So I don't know when that'll be. I don't know if it'll ever happen. With the record high rental prices, we're building so many multifamily houses to try to catch up to those. Whereas a lot of those renters are starting to enter the buyer's market anyway. My fear is that we're going to have a giant supply of new inventory with falling demand for that inventory at the same time. It might overlap. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's something that on a macro scale I see where that doesn't impact homeowners looking to buy a home at a certain price point. But for the people that are building these multifamily properties, if you're a renter right now, I would have a hard time believing your rent is going to keep going up over the next 10 years. I would imagine with less renters out there and more properties hitting the market, that rental prices are going to start to fall, and it could be an awesome opportunity for people that aren't ready to purchase, or like if we're trying to attract talent from other neighboring states, the cost of living going down even further could actually be really good for our economy as a whole.
Next question, what is your favorite burger place or slash restaurant?
My favorite burger place right now, it used to be a food truck. Every time I saw it, I would make a point to go to this food truck, and they actually opened a restaurant right next to my house, which makes it very convenient but also very dangerous. I typically go there every Sunday, which for me is my cheat day, and it's Aioli Burger. They're just the best burger in town, by far.
Yeah, I'm boring. I can't pick a favorite burger place. It depends on what mood I'm in. I like different burgers in different settings. I thought I had a favorite burger picked out, and then I was at the Charles Lodge for a spring training baseball game, and Ruth's Chris was giving out sliders, and it might have been the best burger I've ever had. Albeit I hadn't eaten anything yet. It was sunny and I had been drinking, but
That always makes everything better.
I had several of them and they were phenomenal. I remember them being very good. I was always an In-N-Out guy because it was easy and fast, but I gotta admit Shake Shack, if you can plan it right and you don't have to do anything for the next couple days, a nice little Shake Shack burger will hold you over. And then in Arcadia, I'm a big fan of Ingo's. I don't know if you've had Ingo's, but grabbing a burger and beer at the bar up there is pretty fun to do. So I can't pick, it depends what day of the week it is. Does DoorDash count as a favorite restaurant? we use DoorDash all the time.
Mine is
so
Uber
I don't
Eats.
know.
We love
Okay.
Uber Eats.
Why did you pick Uber Eats? Does it have a better selection with where you're at?
It does,
Okay.
yeah. I find myself looking at Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, and scrolling through the restaurants, and Uber Eats just has a better selection for where I live.
And that's so important because, like, once you're in that customer's mind, you're going to be in it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Uber user, and I just don't use Lyft because I started using Uber. But then I started using DoorDash before Uber Eats was around, and the brand loyalty that you psychologically have, I don't use Uber Eats. I think we looked it up one time, it didn't have all the restaurants we wanted, and then you just never kind of look again.
Yeah, I just found out that Amazon is getting into this business now too.
Well, then you're doing groceries and meals.
Yeah, it's insane. I've even done home services through Amazon where I need an
fix
electrician.
stuff or-
Yeah, to have somebody come in and fix something, install something. You can even order through Amazon to have IKEA furniture built so that you don't have to do it
That's
yourself.
awesome.
Amazon is taking over. They don't deliver food in my area yet. I just had a buddy tell me about it who lives in Scottsdale. I don't know. It's crazy.
Cool.
That's crazy. Federal Reserve raised their interest rates this week. And what does that actually mean?
It's super complicated. I went down a rabbit hole on this. I'm not kidding. The simplest way I could put it, the actual rate that is raised is the overnight lending rate that they charge to banks. A lot of banks out there are lending out all of their money, but they have to have a certain amount of money on reserve. And that kind of changes depending on who's doing what. If you have to have a certain amount of money on reserves and you lend out too much, that means you have to borrow some money to have on your reserves. And the rates that they charge is what it costs to lend overnight. So when banks are constantly lending to each other, it keeps the currency going, it keeps the economy moving because money is always moving around. That overnight interest rate is what they charge banks when they aren't at their minimum. What that means is they can borrow from each other, or at the very least they'll borrow from the Federal Reserve if they have to. So when the Federal Reserve raises the minimum rate, everyone raises what they charge to borrow money from each other. And then the idea is that impacts the rest of the economy and it makes it a little bit more expensive to borrow money. Because if it costs me more money to borrow money overnight, I'm going to charge you more money to lend it to you for 30 years for a mortgage. And even that is really confusing. But
So if you're like me and that all just puts you to sleep, here's what the Fed raising rates means to you and I on an individual level. It means that mortgage rates could possibly go up. It definitely means that if you have an ARM, the interest rate on your ARM will fluctuate and will increase. Interest rates on home equity lines of credits, those will go up as well. And credit cards. So if you have a lot of credit card debt and revolving debt, those interest rates are going to go up. I'm seeing a lot of people suggest that if you do have credit card debt, to transfer that over while you still can to a 0% fixed for a certain amount of time and pay it off. Get rid of that debt because those rates are going to continue to climb. The Fed is talking about doing 3 rate hikes this year. The first one was done just this week. A lot of people will say that that means that interest rates on savings accounts are also going to go up, but that is a very slow process. So the banks are quick to increase rates where we're paying them money. They're very slow to increase rates where they're paying us money. And if you have student loans, there's fixed student loan debt and then there's variable student loan debt. I would look into, if you have variable rates on student loans, to also consider refinancing those. So anything that you have variable, try and get that fixed. Rates increasing over time is just going to be a continued trend that we see as long as the economy continues to chug along like it is.
Worst moment as a realtor.
I remember my most embarrassing moment as a realtor. So I had helped like maybe 6 people buy homes. So I was really green and new into the industry. When I first got into the industry, I had a 2004 orange Mazda 3 that before I got into real estate, I had lowered it a little bit. I put a sports shifter in it. It was really dumb.
can I just say, it doesn't sound very tactical.
It was not tactical at all. It was like driving around in a go-kart. My friend, he allowed me the opportunity to assist him and his wife buy their first home together. They met over at my house. We got into my car and they were searching for homes out in Santan Valley, which at the time I lived in Tempe, and Santan Valley is about 45 minutes south. So we get into my car, we drive all the way out there, and I don't have a realtor key. So I have no way of getting inside the property. So I was all panicky, just embarrassed. We drive back to my house, It had fallen out of my pocket because my car was too low and was sitting in my driveway. So we drove 45 minutes to the house, 45 minutes back to my house, then 45 minutes to the house to see the one property, and then so that was super embarrassing. It was nice that it was with a good friend, so they were understanding. Yeah, I got a new car about as quickly as possible after that experience.
Back when there were still like Uber foreclosures and not enough people buying them, and I was doing a bunch of fix and flips and buying foreclosure, I was helping my sister buy them. Instead of me walking in and doing my thing, it was more of like showing someone else around, so it changed a little bit. And same thing, we're out way on the other side of town. Similar thing happened, except I left my key on the counter and walked out of a house and locked it up. So my key was stuck in a house on a foreclosure that the bank owned. So I had no way of like contacting like a realtor to let it in and nothing. And I was just kind of, I was like, it was my sister. I was embarrassed, but she was cool about it. We'd seen a bunch of houses and she was like, let's get out of here.
Well, it's a foreclosure. That's where you just take a rock and kind of smash the window.
It was...
Don't do that.
Basically, I was just like chalked it up to be like, I'm never seeing that again, and I just got a new one because it was easier than actually like figuring it out. And I'm not kidding. It was probably like 3 months later when the agent called me and said, "Hey, I just went by the house, found your key card." I was like, "No one's been there for 90 days." Like, geez, and that was a. We're never gonna see a market like that again.
Jillian, tell us what you're doing. I want to live vicariously through you. As a young person, what are you doing tonight for St. Patrick's Day?
It's St. Patrick's Day?
Tonight,
It is St. Patrick's Day.
It is St. Patrick's Day. But everyone was celebrating it last weekend, which is weird. But
That is weird.
tonight, yeah, this is the only green that I own. And I actually got it from Sparty Gras, which is... which is the Michigan State Spartans have like a little group here called the AZ Spartans. I'm not from there. I didn't go there. I'm from Minnesota. My boyfriend went there. So we're going to the Wasted Grain to watch the Michigan State basketball game. There's a watch party there with all the Michigan State people. And then we will hopefully go out dancing because I like to do that.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes.
I will not be doing any of those things. I'll be sitting at home probably watching TV.
Nice.
Which sounds great to me.
I'll be watching John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now I don't know what we're doing. I didn't know it was St. Patrick's Day. You just always wear that green shirt.
It's my favorite color. I just happened to wear it on St. Patrick's Day.
All right, happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy Monday. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Let us know if you have any other questions.
Yeah, send us your questions. We'll feature you. We'll put some of the statistics. We'll make Hoff do some work and put it down in the bottom of the video, some of the things we covered.
And I'll see you next week from Iceland.
All right.
All right, bye.
See ya.